Welcome to my channel, Rabbani 110Z. I will shining your way.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into an explainer that I am absolutely thrilled about. We're unpacking a really fascinating, deeply concentrated four-scene narrative. We're looking at a piece of micro-storytelling that is so densely packed with emotion, structure, and visual cues, it literally functions as a masterclass in narrative design. Seriously, if you've ever wondered how to tell a massive, life-changing story in just a handful of sentences, well, you are going to love this one. So, our source text kicks off exactly like this. A 3D Pixar-style animated story of an ambitious little turtle. Now, what's really wild here is just how much heavy lifting those few words actually do. Right out of the gate, we're primed for big dreams. Think about it. The phrase Pixar style instantly conjures up these expectations of rich visual storytelling, warmth, and super high emotional stakes, right? While ambitious little turtle instantly gives us this lovable underdog protagonist that we just can't help but root for. And honestly, that brilliantly sets up the whole premise of today's explainer. We're basically breaking down this four-scene story of ambition, transition, and ultimate freedom. We're going to zoom in on these incredibly efficient scenes to see exactly how the mechanics of storytelling work on a microscopic level. It's essentially the classic hero's journey, but distilled down into its absolute purest form. All right, let's start with section 1, the ordinary muddy world. Because, every great story starts with the status quo, the ordinary world. Let's actually slow things down for a second as we introduce the very first stage of this sort of micro-hero's journey. So, scene 1. The source text paints a highly specific picture here. A close-up shot of a small, bored turtle sitting on a rock in a calm, muddy pond, looking longingly towards a distant canal. I want you to really pay attention to those specific adjectives. Bored, muddy, distant. They are meticulously chosen to create this profound feeling of stagnation. And that close-up shot, it forces us to focus on the turtle's internal state, that aching yearning for something more, just out of reach. It's a feeling I think pretty much all of us can relate to, perfectly captured in one single still moment. Which brings us to section 2, the brave transition. Now, obviously, our protagonist doesn't stay bored for long. That decisive action leads us to the escalating physical journey, which perfectly mirrors the turtle's growing ambition. We literally go from the muddy pond to the clear canal and eventually all the way to the vibrant ocean. This isn't just a simple change in location, guys. It's a massive scaling up of the environment itself. As the turtle's courage grows, the world around him literally expands and clarifies right along with him. So that crucial turning point is really captured in this first major shift. Notice the starting point, that stagnant, muddy pond. Now contrast that with his very first destination, a fast-flowing, clear blue canal just absolutely teeming with delicious water plants and tiny fish. The difference is practically night and day. We're moving from complete, utter stagnation to this sudden burst of abundance, color, and action. But getting there, well, that requires some serious effort. As the text tells us, the turtle crawls determinedly through tall green grass, leaving the pond behind. I really want to emphasize those action words here. Crawls determinedly. This isn't some magical teleportation. It's a physical struggle. Leaving your comfort zone, even if that comfort zone happens to be a muddy, boring pond, requires taking a real risk. But then, he jumps into the fast-flowing water, amazed and eating happily. Boom, the risk immediately pays off. Okay, let's move on to section 3, entering the vast unknown. Because here's the thing, the canal is really just a stepping stone. As we hit the third section, the scale of our story absolutely explodes. Just think about this dramatic juxtaposition showing the complete transformation. We're comparing the absolute beginning to the absolute peak of the physical journey. You have our small, bored turtle in his muddy pond, and then, bam, an amazed turtle emerging into a massive, breathtaking, vibrant blue ocean. Visually reinforcing this huge emotional and physical shift is the key to understanding exactly why this story works so incredibly well. The payoff matches the ambition perfectly. And the source text totally doesn't hold back on the details to sell this massive scale. For scene 3, it gives us a cinematic wide shot. We've got sunlight filtering through the water, we have coral reefs, colorful schools of fish, and this incredibly lively underwater world. You really have to read these vivid descriptors with high energy to capture just how breathtaking it is. The canal water flows directly into this vast sea, creating a truly spectacular reveal. Our little turtle is no longer just looking at a distant dream, he is literally swimming inside it. Which brings us to the emotional core of the explainer in Section 4, Finding Your True Community. Now, you might think reaching the ocean is the end of the story, right? But the best narratives know that physical destinations are rarely the true resolution. The text beautifully shifts the focus here from the massive environment to the actual emotional connection. The turtle is now surrounded by a group of friendly sea turtles of all sizes swimming joyfully together. And that right there, that is the ultimate reward of the journey. It's not just about reaching the ocean or finding clear water, it's about finding a supportive community where you actually belong. I mean, he went from sitting entirely alone on a rock to being totally surrounded by his peers. And it all culminates in this absolutely beautiful emotional peak. Bright expressions of freedom and happiness. Just take a second to appreciate that phrasing. This completely resolves the turtle's initial boredom with absolute, genuine joy. The physical journey was essentially the price of admission to unlock this incredible emotional freedom. Finally, let's look behind the curtain in Section 5, the anatomy of inspiration. So, how exactly did the author of this prompt guarantee we'd feel this way? Well, what's really fascinating is how the source text dictates highly specific visual and emotional cues to guarantee an inspiring resolution. It's like a Pixar-style formula. It calls for sunlight filtering, a bright, colorful, uplifting atmosphere, and even specifies 4K resolution right alongside emotional and inspiring storytelling. By explicitly combining these high-fidelity visual instructions with crystal-clear emotional targets, it creates an airtight formula for resonance. It's literally engineering an emotional response through structured visual design. Pretty brilliant, right? As we wrap up this explainer, I want to ground this ambitious little turtle's journey directly into our own human experience. Because let's be real, we all have those moments of sitting on a rock, feeling stuck or stagnant, just looking out at something better. So I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. What is your distant canal? And more importantly, are you ready to finally leave your muddy pond? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me today. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next explainer.